We're going.
What's up, kid?
What's happening?
How's it going? Did
Oh,
Joseph Francis out the third? I haven't seen you in forever. What's going on?
not too much, man. Just been hanging out, eating all the peanut butter. That's
Peanut?
about it.
Is that your weakness? Peanut butter?
Big time, bro. What have you been doing? What have you
I
been
love
eating?
peanut. I love peanut butter, and I love jelly, but they do not go together. It's disgusting.
What?
No,
You're crazy. I got
I'll
all.
I'll I'll have a warm bagel with like grape jelly and butter on it, but peanut butter and jelly are the worst combination ever made.
You are insane. I got all different kinds, iterations, and incarnations of PB and J. I got PB and J bars. I got Goober, where it's mixed up in the jar, and then we got
That's
straight up
gross.
PB and J.
That is disgusting.
You're crazy, dude.
No,
Butter, you said? Butter.
the regular butter, yeah. I'm telling you, next time you go, get a bagel. Don't toast it, just warm it up. Put grape jelly on one side and butter on the other side, and put that thing together. It's gonna change your life.
Wow.
You know what's really
Wow.
good too? Regular Doritos and milk. I'll do that all day long.
That's probably illegal somewhere, man. You're crazy. Doritos and milk, dude. It's like
Yeah,
nacho cheese and dairy.
yeah, it's fine with me.
Unreal. Let's talk about that shaved head you got there. What brought that on, man?
Well, I used to always shave my head, and then my wife didn't really like it. When Isabella, my daughter, was little, like 8 years ago, I was shaved my head. I had to grow it back for some reason. I forget why, but of course, nothing's open, so I shaved my head and my son's head. So there you go. It's
You
back.
you look like a thug dad. I'm not brave enough to cut my hair, and uh, my lady's been talking about cutting it. I'll let her do it, but I all I have is a beard trimmer, so I know that's a bad idea.
It grows back. Who cares?
It
Put a hat
grows
on.
back. I got all the attachments. Yeah, it's all good.
Joe, you're sitting there. The only covering you have on your body right now is those the things on your ears and your. So you better sit back there. Oh my God, Joe, what you got
It's
the
my
shorts?
shorts. It's my shorts. You see them? Yeah, you see them. Yeah, there
I
you go.
barely see those shorts, but my God. Oh man,
Oh
you're
yeah,
crazy.
bro.
You're crazy.
So yeah, man, we had some big changes. I miss coming into the shop, man. It's been like 2 months now. I know I'm not the only one, and wow, how things have changed, right? It's been when did Diamond announce that they would stop putting out new issues? That was the end of March, right?
I believe it was March 25th was the last week of new books because April 1st was going to be like potentially our biggest week of the year because we were going to get the Batman 92, which had the Punchline cover. Oh, no, Punchline. Is it Punchline? Yeah,
It's
can't
punchline.
remember.
That's you got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big, but and it was a incentive variant, so that was like massive, and everything just kind of went off the rails. It was kind of eerie because we were that Wednesday we were closed, but we were doing curbside. We had that Sunday we were whatever the date of the Sunday was, that March 21st, whatever it was, 22nd. We had a close, so we or maybe it was no, it was Saturday. We closed that Saturday before we had to close the store at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So we just did curbside all day on Wednesday, and we're not supposed to do curbside because we're not essential. So we were just running out the back door over to the store around the corner like all day. I've been doing that every day. All of end of March, all of April, and now halfway through May. But we're gonna start. We're officially allowed to do curbside starting this week.
So, what kind of changes that have to make store wise for curbside? What are the restrictions? Are you allowed to have people in the store? What's the mask situation? What's it all about?
Nobody can come in the store, so they can come to the front door and that's it. I gotta hand it to them, or I think I'm gonna put a table by the door, so if they at least want to look at some books, I can at least put a box on the table and they can kind of flip through it from the outside of the store. I mean, that's the best I can do.
The best I've seen is for Mother's Day. Went and picked up some cakes for our mothers, and like this place, Nothing Bunt Cakes, that I discovered a couple months ago at a wedding expo, and they have a shop in Wayne on the 23 by Starbucks. So I
Yeah,
put the order
I've
in
been there.
there.
We've been there.
So yeah, so when you go up to Nothing Bunt Cakes now, They have the stickers on the ground outside about standing 6 feet apart, and then they literally have what you just said. They have like literally a 6 foot table up against the door, so you can. It's like Mr. Ed. You go up to it, you can peek
Yep.
your head in, and that's it. And they bring you whatever you want, and it's basically a wrap. So that's what comics is going to be like.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot easier because we literally shut down. We have 2 shops, so myself and Ben, the other owner, we're the only 2 guys working. So we closed Manalapan, and in Wayne, I've just been selling like crazy on Instagram. I was doing Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It got way too hectic because you'd have everything filters through me, and it was hard to keep up with it because some I could turn the comments off, some I couldn't. It was just like, I'm not exaggerating. I get between 150 and 250 messages a day on social media, and some of them are for 1 book, some of them for 500 books, some of them for like ridiculous things. And most people are super cool, but you got some guys that'll message me at like 10 o'clock at night for like 6 books, and I don't answer them. And then at like midnight, they send you a bunch of question marks. I'm like, are you first off, what, are you kidding me? Like, what do you want me to do? First off, the hour, it's after hours. Secondly, like, really, with the question marks?
They
Or you
want
get
their
a guy,
comics, man.
no, but then you get someone who buys something like on Saturday night. Okay, so we can't ship it till Monday, the earliest. And they live in like, we're in Jersey, and they live in like California. We ship it Monday, and it's like Wednesday. They go, yo, where's my stuff? I'm like, dude, we shipped it Monday. Like, it takes like 4 days to get to you on a regular schedule. Like, really?
Yeah, forget
Like,
about now.
people are
Takes
just
even
like, I
longer.
don't understand where people come from. It baffles my mind. It really, really does. And I joke about this all the time. My least favorite question in the history of anything is when someone says, hey, I see that you have that book there. How many spine ticks does it have? I will not answer that question ever. How many spine ticks? There's a very clear picture there. I'm not in it. You know what, too? It's also, you get a book that in 9.8 is going for like $500. We have it posted for like $150. They go, can you send me a bunch of pictures? I want to know if it's a 9.8 candidate. It's not a 9.8 candidate. That's why it's $150. If it was a 9.8 candidate, either we would slab it ourselves or it'd be $500. So obviously, if it's $120, it's not 9.8. It drives me bonkers, man.
Listen, you still got your collectors out there. You still got your picky guys that just have to be shopping from home now. So let me
Yeah.
ask
What?
you.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. So essentially, when you reopen the store, are you going to be asking customers to, like, if you're not a subscription customer already, basically that's what you're going to want, right? You're going to want a list beforehand, send us your list of what you want. We'll get it together for you. And then when you come, you can stick your head in, see if you want any toys or stuff like that. And when you have your books ready for you, or what's the plan?
Ideally, yes. Ideally, and that's what we've been doing now. That's why it's kind of funny that I'm getting messages from people I know now. Oh my God, you're doing curbside. I've always done curbside. I just didn't really advertise it because I wasn't really allowed to do it. That's why we just kind of like, okay, park around the corner. I'll come out the back and give it to you. Yeah, you just send me a list. I mean, it's 2020, so I mean, if you don't have an email or Instagram or Facebook or whatever to send me a list, there's a problem. And we'll just prepay for it with PayPal or Venmo or whatever, and I'll bring it out to you. I mean, we'll have the register going too if you want to come to the door and
Oh,
get
so
it done.
you're going to be accepting cash payments and credit card on the spot too, or payment beforehand?
Yeah. Once that, now that we can open the front door, yes, I'll have the register there. We can do everything. I'm just gonna have to change it a little bit, and then I think once this is done, I'm hoping in June they're gonna do they'll probably make it where we can be open, but it's very limited is how many people can be in the store, which I'm all for. I have no problem with it. Like when I go to people's cars now, I put on a mask and I have gloves on. And I mean, I'm in the middle. I understand both sides of it. So you got some guys that are like, my trunk's open, please put it in the trunk, and they don't want anything to come near you, which is fine. And you get some guys that are just standing outside the car with nothing on and giving you a fist bump. So
Put the
I get it.
comics in the basket.
Yeah, I get it. I understand all sides of it. I whatever you believe, whether it's a conspiracy or it's actually really happening or whatever. I'm neutral. I understand all of it, and I respect everybody's beliefs, and you just kind of go along with it.
I am 100% certain that the reality in our world right now is going to inspire some truly awesome comic books when we come back, like full fledged. The storylines that are going to be coming out with all the different kinds of metaphorical and also probably just straight up pointing fingers, realistic kind of stuff. I think we're going to have some really, really awesome fodder for comic writing material.
Oh,
When
definitely. And plus, these guys, they have time to write it now. The schedules are kind of out the window. Like when everybody lost their mind when Diamond shut down, I'm like, what are you getting mad about? I'm like, first off, they're on the East Coast. Second off, there's so much going on in this world. I'm sorry, but if I worked at Diamond, I'd be like, listen, I am not risking my life to get comic books out the door. I mean, listen, I love comics. Everybody loves comics. We need comics? Of course, but it's not essential. So like, I also, when if I'm closed, I don't want Diamond to be shipping me books because I can't sell them. I don't want it on the bill.
That's a good point. That's a really
You know
good
what I
point.
mean? So I'm not saying I was happy when Diamond shut down, but it was a relief because we put all our accounts on hold. We didn't get any new product. We're starting to get it a little bit now, and obviously Diamond's going to be kicking back up. But I didn't want to get orders from toys and pops and stuff like that. I had nothing. I couldn't sell them. If I could sell them, it was like a tenth of what I could normally sell. It's also a bill I can't pay. So we
So
just fed off our inventory, for the past, 2 months, wall books and sets and whatever else we had.
I'm glad you explained this. And I want to clarify this for those listening at home. Me and Corey have spoken about this previously, and I was on the other side of the fence as coming from a fan's perspective. When Diamond, I read that press release, whether it was on Bleeding Cool or wherever, and when they announced in late March that they had, shut down, for safety reasons, they shut down the whole operation. There would be no new comic books. They have the monopoly on pretty much, on distribution for all publishers, independent and all the major guys. So as a fan, I was like, hey, that's not fair. We're not going to have any books during this time. This is like a perfect time to have books. But then as I hear, as I step away from the fan perspective of it and listen to the retailer side of it, you make a very interesting point. It's like, I can't have my store open. I have no storefront to sell these things. I'm struggling to do it on the internet. I have to take pictures and do everything through message. And it's really, really frustrating. I don't want to have an extra bill to pay. I don't need new books to be coming in. You know what I mean? We want to service our customers, but at the same time, we're not going to be able to service them in the same capacity that we were when we were able to be open. So having this bill every month from Diamond, this monster bill that you might not be selling through the books as frequently. You definitely won't be selling through the books as frequently because not all customers are coming for comic books during this time. Many are laid off. Many are, have to take care of their families. Comics is not really a priority for a lot of people. I mean, it's important, but there's other things that take precedence,
No, I know. And the other thing is too, I mean, the books might be returnable and some come out, but it doesn't happen overnight. You have to wait. And the thing is too, is say I get shipments now. Let's just say all weeks from like April 1st to June 30th. Okay. Just an example, they're all returnable at some point. Now, returnable, it means it could be a month after, it could be 6 months after. So now I have to, not only do I have to do that, I have to keep them separate by week and I have to store them somewhere. So Diamond comes in, the order shows up, we got to process the books, count them, shortages, damages, whatever, put them in order, pull for people, whatever, but I also have to keep them separate. I have to do this every single week for 6 to 8 weeks. So I'm going to have all these boxes. I'm not going to put them on the shelf because we can't let people in the store. So it's also triple the work. I'd rather just not have them, and right now we're ordering very minimal. So I might miss books that people might want. If it's a reservist that I have not seen for a while or heard from this entire time, I'm probably not going to pull a book for them because I do not want to put pressure on these people that they might have lost their job. And the last thing on their mind is, oh, I need to go to the store and pick up my comics. So I get it. And if they do kind of show back up, I don't want to be like, oh, hey, Jimmy, here's 4 months worth of books. You owe me like $500. I'm not doing that to somebody.
No,
I
that's
can
fair.
find, if they want those books, I'll get them for them. I'll find a way to get them for them, or whatever, and I'm sure they're going to understand like why they might not I didn't pull the newest Flash issue for them because I haven't seen them. I mean, it just happens. So, and I can't stand when you go online, you see all these people mad about, oh, they keep pushing this stuff back. Where's the new books? Comic books have been around for like 90 years. Okay. If you like Batman, there's 80 years of Batman books. There's thousands and thousands of Batman stories. Pick up a trade. Read something else. You know what I mean? There's just so much good stuff out. X-Men. There's so many titles for X-Men. Just go pick up another title. Why do you have to wait for number 7 to come out or wherever it is? Just go read the John Byrne X-Men or something.
And I would imagine most people who frequent, comic shops like Zapp have an extensive library of stuff. Like I have had no problem for reading material during this time. I
Yeah,
have
there's
tons of
plenty.
stuff.
You'll never have a night. Your lifetime, you'll never be able to read everything. You just can't. It's impossible. I'm sorry.
So let me ask you this. Now, Zapp isn't just for funsies. This is, you're an owner of the store. You're a co-owner of the store, and this is your not just it's your livelihood, but you have to support your families. You have to support the business. You have to keep it going because we know we need Zapp to reopen and be the place for comics in our community that it rightfully holds its place. We need it to come back. So, what are some creative things that Zapp has been getting into recently to keep the business going, to get rid of the stock that you do have and all the good books that you have in the warehouse? What are some things you've been doing to help move that stuff on the internet?
Well, initially, it was pretty easy. I would just started to singleize the hot books and the wall books on Instagram. They were selling very, very well. But that's the easy stuff to sell. I don't want to sell that stuff. That's the stuff I wanted for my store. I need to sell this other stuff. It's like at New York Comic Con when you see these big walls of awesome first appearances. That stuff's cool and all, but I don't need to sell that. I need to sell the stuff that's in the boxes. All those $2, $3 books, $5 books, comic book sets, $5 trades. That's the stuff I need to sell, and it's harder to sell online than it is, in the store. So initially, I was putting on wall books. They were selling like crazy, and then I'm like, well, I have all this other stuff I need to start selling. So I was normally Instagram is more for, you know, put up fun videos, kind of show what new came in, maybe show the wall every now and then, share a video here and there of like a trailer that's coming out. And I realized that our biggest reach is Instagram. Is Facebook's hit or miss. Twitter is very hard. If you're not a personality, Twitter almost gets lost. Um, so I realized very quickly I need to focus all my energy onto Instagram, which most people are on anyways. And like we blew up. We got like 600 followers in like a month, just people coming over. We've got like 150 the past 2 weeks alone. It's been pretty crazy. So like I said, the amount of messages I've been getting, and like with the hot books and the wall books, but then it started getting people started sending us requests for back issues from the bins and whatever. And I kind of fell behind because I'm the only one doing it, so I don't have enough time in the day. So some they just kind of get lost. But then I realized that when I do the videos of flipping through the bins, people love that. But the problem is that they always ask for the same like 5 books over and over again. So I can't do that. So I just started making sets in the warehouse. I would take a long box of like X-Men and just put it on, and it would sell and sell. So now the main focus is sets and runs of books because people are going nuts to find them. And a lot of times the sets come out to be like less than $1 a book. It's worth it. So, we just said, we need to adapt because this isn't going to end. This app is not going away, and I'll do everything I can to do it. I go to the store. I usually go to the warehouse at 6 in the morning. I'm there from 6 to 10. I pull as many books as I can. I get to the store from 10 to like 1. We're packing and shipping orders like crazy. I go to the post office, which thankfully is in our plaza, like 50 times a day. I do a lot of curbside, and then we're doing curbside and requests all day. I'm there till like 5, 6 o'clock. My way home, no lie, I do 5 to 10 deliveries a day. It's usually people I know, but I bring people books every single day. There's not been a day where I don't bring a book or a bag of something to somebody's house. I drop it off. I come home. I see my kids and my wife for a few hours. They're in bed by 10. From 10:30 to like 12, 2 in the morning, I just post pictures of books online to sell. I do that every single day. The only day I don't go in is Sunday. I usually do yard work or play with my kids or whatever, but I've been doing this every single day. Ben's there every single day, just as much as I am, if not more. And that's it, because this is all we got. And I'm not going to sit around and hang out and read books. I can't. You got to adapt or die, and we had to adapt.
Yeah, you've been right back at it, man, and it's definitely admirable to see you guys getting on it, and and trying to keep the business afloat during a time like this, because there's going to be, I read tons of articles about this industry every day, and it seems like all across the country, tons of moms and pops are. This is going to be kaputski for all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
A lot of
awful.
people won't survive.
You can't, and I got people that I know people who own restaurants that say even when they're allowed to open, they're not going to open. They're just going to do curbside because it's actually cheaper for them to do curbside than it is to have a full staff and have people come in the store, and it's less of a loss. And they're just going to keep doing curbside for as long as they have to because that's actually it hurts less than opening up. Like thankfully none of our stuff is perishable, so like obviously it doesn't expire. But I could not imagine trying to put an order in for food or pasta or milk or whatever to try and figure out what you need for the next week or two. And thankfully, 98% of the people out there are very patient and understanding. But that 2% that isn't, should be just kicked off this planet forever. People are. I go to some people's cars with their order that they paid for, and I don't even get a chance to say thank you, and they have tears in their eyes telling me thank you for doing this. I'm not doing anything. I'm just working and I'm just getting you your books. But that to them is like it's amazing that we do. Like people their orders like $20. They give us $50 and they say keep it. They walk away from me. I get reservists. I have over 10 reservists that every Wednesday send us $50 for a gift card because that's what they would pay. That's what they would buy every week. They have like 8, 9, $50 gift cards in their box waiting for them to use because every Wednesday they just send us $50 because that's what they spend a week. And if they're working, their wives are working, so everything's normal for them. So they're like, listen, my life is normal. So what I normally do on a Wednesday is I go to Zapp Comics, I spend $50. So they send us $50.
You got to remember, man, this is, like we said before, this is important to people. It's not at the top of the priority list, but and speaking for myself as well, coming to the store once a week is a routine thing. It's out of love, and it's about buying books, but it's also about coming to see you guys and talk to the staff, and and bullshit around, and pretty much, and that's like a big part of it, man. It's coming and hanging. It's like going. It's like when old men go to get lottery tickets and get the paper and get away from their wives when they're 80 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a clubhouse. When it's a clubhouse mentality. Everybody's like it's like Cheers. When Norm walks in, everybody gives him a high five and yells and no, I'm glad that that's how people view it. That's why I don't. Even when the digital age was popping up, people like, oh, comic book stores. I'm like, they're not going to go anywhere. If they're done right, they're not going to go anywhere because people need that feel. They need that like, okay, I'm gonna hang out in the garage with the guys for a few hours and BS about sports and whatever else. So that's what people need. That they just need that. Like I said, they want to stop at the bar on the way home and have a few drinks and they'll talk to the guys. That's what it is. I always say this. I'm a bartender, but I serve comics, not books. I mean, not
Amen.
drinks, but that's what I
Amen.
do.
So what is the plan of action for the Manalapan store, for Zapp Manalapan? Or is it the same? You have someone down there doing what you're doing up here, or no?
Well, we got Doug. Doug's running it, but we closed it up for now. He goes in uh, like once a week for a few hours just to take care of some good reservists. But you know, for the time being, it's gonna still be like that for a while until we can figure things out. Because it's kind of dicey because you don't know. Wayne's the busiest store anyways, but it was weird. I went down there, I covered all the windows up, and it was just it's eerie. Like the front door of Zapp Wayne has been covered with a dark maroon tablecloth since March 22nd. I've opened it like 10 times, and it's just for the mailman with a box. So that thing has not seen the light. Like the light has not peered through that door in months, and it's going to be. I'm telling you, in the middle of the day, like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun is beaming. I have the lights off because I was sitting near the back now, and I just work on the tables back there because there's lights in the back of the store. It's weird. I'm telling you, it's weird. And then my phone goes off. I got to run outside to meet somebody at the back door. And the other day, I was at the drive up for the bank because it's right next to our building, and it's actually part of our building. And the line's like down the block all day, but I go to the post office so much running by it I see when it's like a dead area. So I run back in, I got the deposit, and I stood there. It's all cars, but the bank isn't open. So I'm standing there in the middle of the daytime. It's a beautiful day. The parking lot's half empty. I'm standing in line, and the guy in front of me was taking longer than normal. And I look behind me, and there's like 8 cars behind me, and I'm standing there, like with a mask on, and I'm waiting to make a deposit, and I'm standing at the drive. It was very, very surreal. It was almost eerie, and I'm just looking around. It just felt so awkward, just
Yeah,
standing there.
the things are weird, man.
But
That's
but in the same time, it was normal. It's normal to wear a mask. Obviously, and I'm all for it. Like I had to go to the quick check tonight. I ran in. I almost went inside without a mask. I was like, oh my god! I ran back. I don't know how I didn't have it because I wear a mask, every 5 seconds now. But it's just the way it is.
yep, yep. We are adapting to it for sure. Um, so like you were saying, during this time, Zapp is going through the warehouse, and you're selling stock that you do have. There are no new orders coming in from Diamond. There's no new product. There's no reordering. Right. There's no shipments whatsoever. So the question is, are you guys? Can you even actively buy collections from people during this time, or you guys don't want to go to anybody's house
You
and
know
look at
what?
collections?
We're really not. We bought some bulk deals, um, but it's pretty much like warehouse type stuff. And one of us goes, and that's it. But we're not going to someone's house. I'm not having you come into. I've had a few customers call us and say, "Hey, you think you can like make an appointment so I can just come in and look at your back issue bins?" I'm like, "No, man." And they're like, "Really? Like me?" I'm like, "I don't care. Nobody is coming in this building, man. I'm sorry. Like it's just me and Ben. That's it." I was bringing my kids here and there because we stay in the front of the store, and I haven't brought them in weeks either. It's just not worth it. It's not going to change my life if I have you come in. I'm sorry. Um, I've had a few incidents when I went to curbside pickup, and they said, "Hey, what kind of dice do you have?" The dice is on one rack, so I just brought the display over to them in a box, and they looked at it.
Okay.
That's fine. But I'm not going to have you come in and peruse my back issue bins. No, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I literally delete. I'm not kidding you. I have not deleted less than 1,000 pictures from my phone a day at the end of the day from what people ask for.
Oh wow. Yeah, you got to save that space up.
Some guys like, "Hey, listen, do you have any Avenger back issues from between 100 and 400?" And if I know they're legit buyers, I'll take the time and I'll send them pictures of every single book we have. I do it all the time, like Pokemon, Hot Toys, whatever it is. If I know you're legit, you're not wasting my time. Because early on, I learned real quick that there's a lot of time wasters because they're home doing nothing. So they have all the time in the world. So it's like, "Hey, man, I need Spawn issues like 51 to 300." So I would go and I would pull out what they needed. I would send them pictures of everything. And I'm like, "Okay, listen, individualized, it's this much package. It's like, say, $500, right?
Yep.
Oh, I only have like $60 to spend." I don't ever answer these questions ever again. Yeah, I ignore your request for the rest of the time.
Duly so. Yeah, you shouldn't be bothered with that because come on, you got to know what you're going. You got to know what your budget is
And
for
then you
that.
get the phone calls, which are my favorite. The phone rings, like Zapp Comics. "Oh, you guys are open." I'm like, "No, we're not allowed to be open, but we can do curbside pickup and we can ship to you, whatever you need." "Well, how do I know what I want?" I'm like, "Well, what are you looking for? You looking for Batman stuff? You looking for Pokemon cards, whatever?" "Uh, well, I can't buy something if I don't know what I want." And they hang up on you.
Wow.
And then another person, this happened twice, as a matter of fact. "Zapp Comics, are you guys open?" "No, same thing, curbside pickup, mail order." "Can I help you?" No. And they hang up. I'm like, "What do you want me to
Jeez.
say?" And one lady's like, "Hey, my kid's birthday's May, whatever. He really loves your store. You think we can set up a thing in the morning? We come and buy ourselves and look to the store?" And I'm like, "No. I'm not, no, you're not coming in the store." Two, the store is a disaster because it's literally packing material throughout the whole store. Like there's boxes everywhere. There's bags of peanuts packed on top of things because I don't need to get the things. So we're using it as like a major packing area. And I don't even know, first, I don't know who you are. I'm just going to have you come in.
Oh, I totally get the retailer side of that. Well, I am damn impressed of the comic fan who wants to come out during this though, and even bother you for any of that stuff, and want and have the courage to come look around. Not that it's stupidity, it's not courage, but I admire the wanting to continue the search for good comic stuff at Zapp.
No, I have no problem with that, but I just, and I know I'm just saying this, but most people aren't like that. Most people are cool. They understand it. They can't thank us enough for getting them what they need. Take your time, please. Like I don't mind if somebody messages me and I don't get a chance to respond to them after like a day or so. Give me like a hey, what's going on? But don't do it like an hour later. Like, come on. Like, so I'm sorry. Like, I'm literally, even if you don't know what's going on, you should kind of understand. Like, maybe they're kind of short staffed. The Dunkin' Donuts next door to me, okay, they have two people working there at a time. That's it, and they're not super experienced. They're not super quick because of what's going on. I am so patient with them. I get it. I get it. Like you get some people that like look at you, roll their eyes, like, can you believe this? I just want to like, what are you talking about? You know what's going on around here? You can't wait another 3 minutes for your coffee and your muffin because
Absolutely
you're
not.
slower than normal. Stop. I mean, come on, man. I
I know.
can't stand it. I can't stand people. I really can't.
Question for you: Is CGC, the comics grading service, are they still operating during this time? Are you guys
They're
getting books graded?
they're fully operational, and which is good because we've been catching up with a lot of stuff to get graded, which is one good thing about this. Just because a little time consuming, you got to fill out the form, send it out, whatever. So we're actually got a lot of our bigger high end books graded that we kind of had put aside to get that done. Yeah, they've been amazing actually.
Has Diamond communicated to retailers about any indication of a future ship date or when they will be returning back to life?
Diamond is going to start shipping May 20th. Very limited. It's going to be small publishers in DC. And the week after, which is the 27th, 28th, is Marvel's first week back. Very small weeks. They're going to kind of ease it back into it. And I think you're going to maybe be at full force end of June. They're being very, very good and very cooperative with that. Like, people think, oh, whatever was missing April 1st is coming out. I'm like, no. They're not going to do that. They can't. It's not necessary. You can't just do a full week of books like that. You know, it's okay. Like, these are like, movie theaters might not be open until the end of the year, so it's okay if like comic books slowly come out.
Oh, they're definitely gonna slow. So what you're saying is this was a pause. This wasn't a break. So like when comics do start shipping again, we will continue from where we left off at that weekly pace or monthly pace. We're not. It's stuff that would be coming out on May 20th. Now is not gonna. It's not those books that
No.
were in the March previews. Everything's gonna get be pushed back a couple months.
Everything's getting pushed back. Come on, they're very smartly pushing back the bigger books even further to capitalize on sales, which I completely understand and I get. So, like a book, for example, like I know I talked about before, Batman '92. Everybody's waiting for that book. It was supposed to be out April 1st. It's now going to come out sometime in June. That book has a print run of like 200,000 copies. They're not shipping that out in March. I mean, May. There's no way. It's not going to happen. So they want to
Okay.
wait to make sure they can capitalize on it, and we can capitalize on it as well. I don't want a major release coming out tomorrow. It won't do me any favors. It'll be a headache. It just will.
Now moving forward, obviously everything is completely up in the air as far as social distancing and um, how the pace will be for different levels of things to open back up, essential business wise, non-essential business wise. So so for the first incarnation, since Zapp is non-essential business, but now curbside is allowed, you're going to be allowing customers to come up to the door, make their purchases online beforehand, or pay cash or credit in person. What about the next, let's fast forward a couple months, maybe to like September or October, when maybe restrictions have become light, but yet there is still a need for social distancing. How have you considered how you might do that when you're allowed to have people in the store, but say you're only allowed to have if you're allowed to have 70 people in the store, you're only allowed to have 10 or 20 in now. So would you be scheduling people to come by and peruse the store, or would you just have first come first serve, have people lined up and only allow a certain amount in the store? Have you given any thought to that?
Yes, we talk about that a lot actually. What we would do is we would definitely do time limits. I don't know if I would do a scheduling because I think that's kind of a headache. Because what if somebody comes late and whatever? Unless it gets really busy for some reason. I
Okay.
would definitely do scheduling. Like you come up to the door, it's time to come in. I'm like, listen, man, you got like 10 minutes. Okay, it's 12 o'clock. Around 12:10, I'm gonna kind of just tell you to wrap it up. I'm not gonna kick you out at 12:10, but like wrap it up. And if you even if it's a serious buyer who wants to really look in the back issue bins and spend a good amount of money, I have no problem giving them a certain time to come in, or maybe making it like, okay, he's one of the 10 people that's in the store, but he has to stay in the store longer. But I can get to the store at all hours of the day. So if someone really, really wants to get in and take their time to really make a big purchase, I have no problem like meeting them at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't care. I'll let them come in.
That's what
But
I was saying by appointment. Like you get your subscription customers who also like to come in and check out all the good merch and whatnot you have in the store. So like, if you get a guy who calls and says, hey, I know you're doing limited, time business during the day for your customers. I really need to be in there for like an hour and look through some stuff. I guarantee that, I'm going to be purchasing like I used to, or, whatever the stipulation or the case may be, but just someone who does want to be in there for longer, someone that is a trusted customer that you've known. That's what I meant by making an appointment. If they call, you'll be able to set something up with them,
definitely,
like you
I'll
said.
definitely do that. I have no problem. And the one thing that we are looking forward to is that, for every 10 customers we love, there's one or two that we just like cringe at. And those are the guys that linger and touch everything and have they're just hanging out. But we get to eliminate those guys, which I absolutely love. There's times where people come in the store and they'll be in the store for like an hour or so flipping through the 10-cent Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and they spend like 30
Nice.
cents. Like, you know what I mean? Like those days are done for the foreseeable future. Like if you in a store like ours, you don't really need more than 10 minutes unless you're really dig into the bins with a list and you have to try and fulfill it. If unless you're just killing time, there's no way you can't be done in 10 or 15 minutes. Like you can always go back outside and come back in line. I don't care. But like, the Target does it, Home Depot's doing it, all these stores are doing it. Like we're much easier scale to control that. Like I'll let 5 people in at a time. That's it. And stay away from each other. And okay, you've been here for more than 20 minutes. Okay, you can wrap it up. Like I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna have a buzzer go off and okay, you're done. But I'll give you okay. Like it's like when you go to the store. Okay, we're closing in 5 minutes. Okay, bring your final purchases up front. It's gonna be kind
Start
of like
playing
that.
start playing the wrap it up music on the
Yeah,
Oscars when the speech goes too
yeah.
long.
Or shut the lights off, make them blink or something like that.
Nice.
I have no problem doing that, and I get it.
Absolutely. So now I'm trying to imagine, like the example I gave before. Let's skip ahead a few months to maybe September, October. I'm trying to imagine a busy New Comic Wednesday at your busiest time, which is what, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. when people get out of work, right?
It's busy first thing in the morning and then right after work. Yeah.
So I'm trying to imagine a Wednesday evening at Zapp, and I know anytime that I come in there, I try not to come at that time anymore because there's too many people in the store for me to handle. So I can foresee some people partying outside of Zapp waiting in line. It's going to look like you guys are having the sale every Wednesday of just people waiting to come in for new books.
Listen, the weather's getting nicer, and we have an over, you know, covering the whole strip mall, so you can stand outside and not get wet.
That's always a fun time out there. I'm not going to lie. No one's going to complain
Yeah,
about that.
so there's a Dunkin' Donuts right next door. Like go ahead.
Maybe we can even organize some fun stuff to do out there, during those times when people are waiting on new Wednesdays, do
Yeah,
some
one thing
contests.
I did change and I adapted to was, as you've helped me make many of them, the mystery boxes. People are like, oh my god, you guys are finally doing them. We've done them for years. We do them for any event we do. We do them for ZapCon, Free Comic Day. If it's a midnight release, it's an X-Men theme. I do X-Men, Batman Day. We do them. So I've been doing them. So I finally started doing them for online ordering, and we've been selling out. And I'm actually it's hard to keep up with them. And you got people like, oh, that's awesome. You should do like a Squirrel Girl one. I don't have enough to put in the Squirrel Girl box, and if I do, you have all that stuff. So I've been doing that, and I've been tweaking it. Like we did some high-end Harley Quinn ones, we sold out. Like I've been selling out everything.
So that's what I was. I'm glad you brought that up. That was my question. I just saw your post about that the other day. So what gave you the inspiration? So you've been doing the mystery boxes, awesome. Great way to keep the business afloat and go through some of that stuff in the warehouse. What made you think to specify and really, single out a couple characters? Is it based on just popularity? Is it based on you guys have tons of that character's material in stock? Like, what was so how many is Harley the first one you've picked, or has there been other single
Well,
characters?
at first we did very generic, simple ones with like trades and packs of comics, and we sold over 200 of those. So, though, whatever, people were buying, like coming back for the third, fourth, fifth time, buying more and more boxes. But I wanted to have fun with it. So X-Men is probably one of the most requested things in general, and there's so many titles of X-Men and so many different X-Men characters that are related to it, whether it's Wolverine or Storm or Nightcrawler, along with the X-Men books themselves. So they're a little bit easier to make. It's like Batman. You can make Batman mystery boxes forever because the Bat family is so big. And Harley, we had a good amount of Harley product. It always sells. And a lot of people are like, you're going to do a high-end mystery box. And it's hard because, like, I want to do the CGC one, but you got to make sure that it works for shipping, because you can't really put a general shipping, because obviously if someone in Jersey buys it, it's a much different if someone who's in California buys it. So it was kind of interesting to do it. So I made, most of the mystery boxes are either 25 or like $50. So I made the high-end ones, the Harley Quinn ones. I did 10 of them, and we sold like 6 right away, and then the other 4 just trickled up the next day. So every Monday, I'm going to be introducing Mystery Box Monday for the foreseeable future. And I think I might permanently have them available online. We never did that before. We was only in the stores because they're usually pre-made. So now I'm pre-making them, but I'm not pre-packing them yet. So this way here, if you want one, obviously I'm not going to pack it the same way if I'm going to have it shipped. So I have everything ready to go, and it's all dependent on where it's going, and that's how I pack it. So
Okay, so yeah, so like you said, this is the first time you've offered mystery boxes for shipping before. So now, my question is so you have a lot of followers all over the country, all over the world for Zapp, but now that you're shipping mystery boxes, you're not just shipping to Jersey, right? You're getting people all over the country.
no lie, and I don't know why this is. We ship so many shipments go to Florida, Texas, Las Vegas, and California. Those are aside from Jersey, those are the most. Every other order is going to one of those states for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if that's where the majority of the collectors are, if people who know us maybe share it to groups in those areas, and that's where they find us. But I get one guy in California that every other day sends me a list. I literally send him 5 shipments a week.
So that's great. So, in other words, you've turned essentially followers of Zapp from watchers into customers, because previously they would have no chance to shop at Zapp or, buy
Yeah,
anything
a
from Zapp
lot of
because you weren't.
stores, and this isn't a knock on stores. Most stores now carry mostly just the new product. They have trades, the new books. They don't, because there's a problem with back issues. You cannot just kind of do it. You either have to completely do it or don't do it at all, because you cannot advertise. We have back issues and have 2 long boxes on your floor. You can't. You're just gonna. So you either have 2, you either have none, or you have hundreds. So our inventory is pretty impressive as far as like what we are allowed to offer. And we have the whole warehouse. I go to the warehouse every single day. So as long as you're patient and reasonable with me, and I know that you're a serious person and you're gonna understand how much time goes into it, I have no problem pulling want lists. I'll do it all day long. The problem is I can't go and pull all these want lists and then have people go, oh yeah, I don't want them anymore, because I gotta it's time. You got to I'm searching for these books, put them together, pricing them. And if you say no, then am I going to refile them? It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Before we did this podcast, one of my biggest concerns about Diamond canceling all operations was that we wouldn't have new books coming out and that people would get accustomed to downloading them illegally or even downloading them, purchasing them, through Comixology or what other stores and what have you. I was worried that people would get so used to that and reading the books on their iPads and online that when comic stores were allowed to open again, that there might be like a really diminished demand for having the book in your hand. But after these stories you're telling me about people wanting back issues and the mystery boxes and whatnot, it gives me hope that when things are better and the books are being written, drawn, colored, shipped, and sold again, that the demand might even be higher than it was before. What's your thought on that?
You know what? There's certain things that you should read digitally. I get it. Okay. They are actually making some of the smaller, lesser selling titles digitally only, and then they're going to be available in a trade later on. I have no problem with that because
Okay.
we get stuck with so many junk titles that you have to order just to order them, and then you get stuck with them. Like you might order a ton of 1 and 2, it's not selling, it's 12 issues, and then you have a ton of 1 and 2, and then the 3 through 12 you order just enough to sell through, and then you get stuck with all. Like, I get it. I have no problem with that. The thing is that it's collecting. Okay, so if you want to talk to someone, and it's all about everybody has these groups, and it's like I said, it's a clubhouse thing. You belong to like a club, and you want to kind of show off what you have. You can't say, "Oh, look at all these comics I have," and you pick up your phone and say it's just a bunch of
You're scrolling through files. No, that's lame.
No, you want to show off. I have this rare cover. I got this signed by 3 people and CGC witnessed at San Diego Comic-Con in 2011. Like
And
you want to
Corey
show that
touched it.
stuff off. So they can all exist together. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with digital stuff. Obviously, it's 2020. Like this stuff, But the thing is, I don't know if before this even happened, if you noticed, bookstores were coming back. People got sick of reading novels on a tablet. They couldn't do it. It's just not. It doesn't feel right. Something about holding that book in you. I mean, obviously, if you go on a trip and you want to download 50 books, that's fine. Obviously, you want to lug them around. But there's something about having a book in your hand and putting it down. You can't look at a screen all day, anyways, because you work. Most people work behind a screen. They don't want to sit there and read on a screen. And reading on a screen isn't fun.
I am not interested in adding any more screen time now that most of us are working from home or communicating from home, schooling from home, doing something from home on the laptop, on the computer. I don't want to add any more screen time. And I am a strong advocate of keeping books alive. I would never jump to digital only, but yeah, I'm glad that most folks want a book in their hands, especially a comic book, to be able to, get in there with your eyes, and not have to be flipping back constantly and worrying about battery life and all the other things you do on your phone. It's just something that should stay the way that it was intended to, you know?
No, and you know what, too? When you're on your phone, everything's catered to you. Okay, so you were looking at, say, you like Harley Quinn and X-Men and whatever. You're gonna just look for those things. Okay, when you pick up a magazine and you flip through it, you might read something about Nova. You might not look up Nova yourself, but you might be like, dude, I didn't even realize, like, look at the art on this. Like, you get exposed to all these things when you're not catering to it. That's the one thing about, like, I got rid of cable, so I pretty much just go to Hulu, and I don't watch any live TV at all anymore. It's awesome, but I kind of miss channel surfing because now you just go to a menu and you just scroll down, or you tell it what you want to watch. I kind of miss flipping to the channels and being like, holy crap, I haven't seen this movie in forever, and you start watching it. I do miss that. I know it's convenient to be able to the touch of your fingertips, or even you can even speak it and it comes on. I get that, and it's amazing. But there's something about, you flipping through, all of a sudden there's a documentary on how, like, carrots are farmed, and you would never search that, but you might come across it and see a cool looking machine on the TV, and you start watching it. Next thing you know, You're all watching 2 hours of carrots.
Next thing you know, you're watching people who sell visits with tigers fighting with each other.
See, that I'll never watch. So you can have it. That I'll never watch.
Nice. Yeah, I would imagine that's on Corey's crap list for sure.
Yeah, I'm good. That can stay in that box with like Game of Thrones and Harry Potter and like Firefly stuff. You can have it if you want it. I just don't. I'm not interested.
Yep, amen to that. So is there anything on the retailer side of things that customers and fans may not be aware of that we haven't covered yet? Is there anything going on behind the scenes, maybe something good or something bad that maybe is overlooked or that is not prevalent to
No,
people on the other side?
the one thing that bothered me that a lot of people that I'm friends with too, when I tell them the best thing you can do right now for a small or local business is buy a gift certificate. And their first thing was, yeah, but what if they don't survive this? It's like, well, I'm not telling you to buy like $1,000 gift certificate, but if you spend 25, $50 at your favorite restaurant, pizza joint, or whatever it is, and they don't come out of this, well, at least you tried, and it's like donating them money.
Absolutely. It's like war. It's like the idea of war bonds back in the day,
Yeah,
right?
that's it. But it's funny how people say that, like, yeah, I didn't. I'm not going to buy a gift certificate to the restaurant. So what if they don't make it? What do you mean if they don't make it? That means they need more help than ever.
Yeah, if you don't do it, they're definitely not going to make it.
Yeah. And then some guys go, all these gift certificates you're going to sell, isn't that going to hurt you when you open back up? No, this is one of the steps that's allowing me to open back up.
Kept you open. It
You
kept
got to look at
business
it like that.
pumping.
This is more. This is just as important, and maybe in some instances more important. I get guys I am blown away by that are casual Zapp guys, maybe once a month, every other week. They come in, they buy like a trade, a new book, maybe a pack of Pokemon cards for their kids. That's it, like a quick stop. Hello. As soon as this happened, $500 gift certificate, 250. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like, what do you mean what I'm doing? I'm doing this is I want to do this, and you're blown away by it because you don't expect it. Those are the ones that I appreciate everything. I don't care if you're buying one bag and board or a $10,000 wall book. Every sale counts, believe me. But when you get, and there's guys that I've never seen before. I don't know who they are, especially when they show up now because they're wearing a hat and a mask. So I don't know who they are. And the Instagram name is like, I like tattoos, and I didn't know picture. So I don't know who they are. They go, okay, give me like, I want X Force 1 through 10. Like, okay, and it's like, $30, whatever. I meet them outside. They give me a 50 and they say, dude, just buy yourself lunch or something. I'm like, no, I can't take this. They go, you're taking it because I want you to have it. And I don't even know who they are because I can't even see them. And it might be a guy that might just be in the area. Maybe he comes in on Sundays when I'm not there, but they don't care. They just want to help. Like people just like knowing that you're there. You know what I mean? Or that you're running around doing all this. Like they like, you know, people like, oh, like, thank you for this. No, don't listen. You need to thank the firefighters, the guys at the supermarkets, the guys at the gas stations, the mailmen. My God, the mailmen and the UPS guys that are like going up to everybody's doors, the cops, all these people, the nurses, doctors. Those are all the heroes, believe me. But people like I told you this. I'm not exaggerating. People have like tears in their eyes when they're saying thank you when I give them a bag of comics. Because you know why? They want a sense of normalcy, and nothing else is normal right now. So I think them coming and seeing me, who they used to see me every Wednesday or whatever day they come in, and I'm handing them their books, I think they just feel good because it's like, this is the one thing that's still normal in my life because everything else is gone, temporarily, obviously. But, they can't see their family. They can't see their mother. They can't bring the dog to the vet or go to their favorite pizza joint and sit inside there or, have a drink at the bar or whatever it might be, you know.
Absolutely,
I
yeah, man.
think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. I really do.
There's a big wanting for that normalcy, for the routine, for the ritual. Like that's like you said, this is a club, but it's also an escape for people. Who not not everybody is that extrovert, when they go out and buys books. Some people are in and out, and it's their ritual. This is a love. And during this time when everything can be up in the air and some people's lives have been completely upended, um, comics is something that brings joy to a lot of people. So even if new books aren't coming out, just to get a book that's new to you, just to have something new to read, a new world or a new, portion of your world to jump into and kind of escape this stuff. And it's also one of the few things left that's not on a screen, and is you have the option to enjoy it not on a screen. It's becoming a rare commodity in the digital age that we're in. So
Listen,
comics.
listen. Before this happened, I know it was early in the year. Last year, 2019 was the best year Zapp's ever had. Okay. Up until this happened, we were on pace to beat it. We were full steam ahead. The back issue market, the wall books, the new release weeks were amazing. Like everything was just clicking and clicking, and we were right about to hit our stride going into our ZappCon and then Free Comic Book Day, which is basically Black Friday for us, and going right into the summer season and straight into fall. And obviously, we felt it went off the rails, obviously for obvious reasons, but the market was there. Everything was there. Everything was there. So I think it's going to be. It might take a little while to people for it to stand back up where it belongs, but I have faith it's going to be back because these people don't go away. You know what I mean? They'll find a way to. And the thing is too is I get a lot of guys that message me to say, "Listen, Corey, I'm really sorry. I haven't been buying anything from you or requesting things. I got laid off. My wife's not working. Whatever. I'm really sorry. I wish I could help. You can help. All you have to do is share something that we post. I don't need your money. Like, I mean, like if you really want to help us and you can't actually do it financially, just share something we post, and that is worth more than any sale you could give me. And I told that to so many people, and they're like, but I feel bad. That's all I can do. Listen, that's enough. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't feel bad. Awareness is a lot.
you got to take care of your family. Listen, I understand that in the real world, we don't belong on it. I mean, I know we always joke and say, "Oh, of course you are essential." No, we're not. Okay, you need to eat. You need to breathe. You need to, get your gas for your car. You need to go to work. You need to make sure your kid gets homeschooled now, whatever that is. I get it. Believe me. So if you don't have a penny to spend on a comic or a Pokemon card, whatever it is, trust me, I understand and I'm behind you 100%. So if you come to me apologizing that you can't support me, if you've supported me before, we're here now because of what you guys did for us in years past. And if you still want to help me out, all you got to do is click on that little arrow, hit share, and share something that we post, and that's more than enough. Believe me.
I know I speak on behalf of all Zappers when I say I relish the day when we get to all come back in on a Wednesday and grab our books and do this up like we should have been doing and get back to the ritual.
No, listen, we're gonna be there, man. I don't care how long this lasts. I will not stop. I won't. Ben won't stop. We won't stop. So, unfortunately, I think some stores out there might not get through this, and it sucks. It really does. It could be because of the financial situation, their lack of inventory, just because they just don't have it for whatever reason. Like people, we've been around for almost 30 years, so it's different. And it stinks. I don't want anybody to go out. I don't care what you guys do. I don't care if they're a competitor or whatever. The comic book store, unless they're across the street from me, is not a competitor. It really isn't. I don't care. I want them all to go. The less stores there are, the less exposure there is to it. I don't want some kid that doesn't know what a comic book is because the closest store is an hour and a half away. That's not fair. When I was a kid, every town had a comic book store. Some had 2 or 3. So I don't want them to go away. I really don't.
No. Well, Zapp's definitely doing its part to ensure a bright future for comics for next couple generations at least,
Trying, man. I'm trying.
In Jersey for
You're still
sure.
here, so I guess it's working.
I'll be here a while, don't worry. Unless I
Not,
do something messed up, then I'm out of here.
well, it's out of our control, Joe.
Maybe even mine too. You never know. All right, Zapp Comics Quarantine Zoom podcast. That's what this was
Yeah,
for
no,
any
I
kid.
think the last podcast we did was like in July of last year. I don't remember when it was. I just don't have time. It's hard, man. You get the kids and everything, and I just don't. And people all the whole time was saying, we need a podcast. Now is the time to do a podcast. And like a month or so ago, I would not be able to physically do it. I didn't have time. I just did not have time. And I got like 10 people this week saying, man, you got to do one. We need to know what's going on. I want to know how things are. We just want, because they can't come in and BS with us at the shop. So, hopefully we're going to do more like this. But I figured, I'll get one out now before it, gets busy again.
Excellent. Well, it was a pleasure doing episode like 2000 of Zapp Comics podcast.
Yeah, it's Joe. It's the Zapp Comics Radio podcast, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. I think you were actually the one singing the song, so if you don't know the name of it, there's a problem.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a while ago. Nice.
Yep, that was like 5 years ago.
Oh my God. Now we're old.
It happens, man.
Well,
Joe,
for all of you listening at home, since you didn't get to see this, I was shirtless the whole time, and Corey was hairless the whole time.
I am pretty much hairless up top. Joe has a beautiful Harley and Poison Ivy heart tattoo that goes across his entire bare chest, and it's right below his wonderful beard there. So
Nostrovia.
yes. Well, Joe, thank you for joining me, Joe. I appreciate it. For all you guys listening, again, I cannot thank you enough for your support. I promise you, and I'm not just saying this over and over again, we are not going anywhere. Zapp is not going down. I refuse to be denied. I swear we're not going anywhere. Just hang in there. We're hanging in there. Again, thank you. Thank you all for everything you've done for us. Joe, thank you for everything.
Thank you, Zapp, for everything. Want to go ahead and thank the master lyricist, John Bush, right there. Zapp refuses to be denied.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, one of my favorite songs by one of my favorite groups, Refuse to Be Denied by Anthrax. They did a Music of Mass Destruction live concert CD, DVD compilation back in like the mid 2000s, I guess. And it's more about the Iraq War and stuff like that, but it got a good meaning. I listened to it a lot in the shop, especially the live version, the way John Bush gets the crowd going at the beginning. It's pretty cool. So kind of like my secret tagline is "Refuse to be denied." Because trust me, there's some days where I'm in the shop and stuff isn't really moving. You kind of get a little down, Then you got to just like, oh, you know what? I got to go do this, and you got to figure something out, and you just don't stop, man.
That's an anthem that's fit for this time specifically, man. They would be proud that you use it.
I am. I'm damn proud, Joe.
Excellent. All right, it's been a pleasure.
All right, guys. See you at the shop.